For the past few years, Rashad McCants has been involved in a war of words with his former team. Not his former NBA team, but his former college team at the University of North Carolina. He's known as a controversial media figure due to his takes on Gil's Arena, where he often goes against the grain, but this is nothing new to him. He's been taking subtle shots at his old college team here and there, and on April 28, 2025, former UNC point guard Raymond Felton will get on his podcast and finally respond to McCants, saying some harsh words, then telling him to come see me. This shocked many people, but those who knew the situation may think that Rashad had it coming. How did two former teammates that won a national championship together manage to have so much animosity towards each other, and where exactly did things go wrong? A lot of people saw Felton's response, but today, we're going to go into the full backstory of what led up to it and why Rashad McCants has a strained relationship with the University of North Carolina. Rashad McCants grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, and started his high school career at Clyde A. Irwin School in Asheville, where he dominated his freshman and sophomore years before he transferred to New Hampton School in New Hampshire, where he would finish high school making the McDonald's All-American game, where he would end up scoring 22 points.
How about McCants showing some range on that jump shot as the East out to a big 15-point lead.
Also making the McDonald's team was Raymond Felton, who was the number 3 player in the country coming out of Lauder, South Carolina, averaging 30 points per game as a senior. Both players, along with forward Sean May out of Indiana, who was also a McDonald's All-American, were part of a stacked recruiting class heading to the University of Carolina to be coached by Matt Doherty. In their freshman season, McCants was the team's leading scorer, averaging 17 points per game, but Raymond Felton was voted as a Carolina Player of the Year, averaging 12 points and 6 assists, but the team would miss the tournament. Their sophomore season in 2003 is when coach Matt Doherty would resign and Roy Williams would take over. McCants would again lead the team in scoring, averaging 20, which would lead the entire ACC and help him earn first-team All-ACC and third-team All-American. Felton was having just as much success, averaging 11 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals, becoming a finalist for both the Bob Cousy Award, given to the nation's best point guard, and the Naismith Player of the Year Award. These two were for sure the best backcourt in the nation. Them, along with Sean May in the post, were arguably the best team in the nation. They lost to Texas in the tournament as sophomores, but their junior years they couldn't be denied. McCants, Felton, and Sean May were all preseason Wooden Award candidates, and they would add freshman Marvin Williams, who was another McDonald's All-American and also a projected number 1 pick. And they were easily the most stacked roster in all of college basketball. They would go on to finish the season 33-4, then they won the NCAA national title, beating an Illinois team led by Darren Williams, D. Brown, and Luther Head. McCants, Felton, May, and Marvin Williams would all enter the draft after the win, with all of them being first-round picks. Marvin Williams went 2nd, Felton went 5th, Sean May went 13th, and McCants went 14th. If you rewind a little bit, when announcing the decision to go to the NBA, Felton, May, and Marvin all had their press conference together, and Roy Williams was also there, but one person was noticeably missing, and that was Rashad McCants. McCants actually held his own press conference a week earlier. This could have been the first sign that things weren't all good in that UNC locker room, and either McCants didn't like them or they didn't like McCants, or both. But why?
Yeah, man, we've met with Coach Williams. You know, Marv met with him, I met with him, Sean met with him, and we all did our press conference together. And then that shows you which color he did his by himself. So that just shows you what type of person. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Man, I think the one thing everybody gets f***ed up is they think everybody close as you play together in the league and y'all talk and all that shit. It never was the case with me with y'all.
Right.
We was always on different sides of the fence.
If you watch him now, you'll know that Rashad McCants is a controversial and polarizing personality, and he knows it too. That didn't just start recently.
Would you consider yourself, I don't know what they call it, a malcontent?
I've always been considered that.
Yeah.
And that's the word they use.
That's the word?
Malcontent, man.
Oh, really?
in articles when I was 17, 18.
Oh, damn.
Yes,
okay,
bro.
I hit it on the nose.
Yes, bro.
I was hoping I didn't offend my brother.
No.
Okay,
they done use all the words, man. Bipolar.
Yeah.
Man, just.
But I've been around you, so you never been like off the rocker crazy or nothing. I mean, you know.
Having a different opinion.
Yeah.
For a lot of people is something that you just can't fathom when you're trying to deal with figuring out what the truth is.
Right.
And when you can bring the truth unfiltered, it rubs people the wrong way a little bit.
Going back to when he was a sophomore in high school at Clyde Irwin, the season ended and McCants was quoted telling the media that there were negative rumors about him being selfish ever since the seniors left, but he had to be because there weren't any good players on the team. Strong words coming from a sophomore in high school. A few years later, as a freshman at UNC, Coach Matt Doherty seemed to rub most of his players the wrong way, but he especially had tension with his leading scorer, Rashad McCants. After a loss to Georgia Tech, Doherty felt that McCants was lacking effort on the defensive end and had him come off the bench in the following game against Wake Forest to make a statement. Carolina would lose that game to Wake 79-75. McCants has his own opinion on why he was benched.
After I had a good game, won the game for us, pulled me in the motherfucking meeting, was like, I don't know why you remind me of Michael so much, but we couldn't stand him. And you look like you come into the gym and you walk past your teammates and you just think you're the shit. And you think this is we're in the meet. Just when I'm thinking he gonna tell me good game, and he's telling me about how he don't like that I remind him of Mike and he didn't like Mike and everybody knew it, and he would never let me average over 20 points a game because Dean never let Mike do it. So from the beginning, that's freshman year. I'm averaging 21 at the time.
Damn.
He told me that and benched me for 3 games, and it took me down to 17. Josh Howard was leading the ACC in scoring at 20. I was at 21.
Yeah.
He was player of the year that year. I'm just saying.
By the end of the season, it was apparent that either McCants or Doherty had to go, and Doherty would end up stepping down. Roy Williams would come in the next year, and his relationship with Rashad wasn't much better. In times that he would go to the bench, he was seen as having bad body language and not cheering on his teammates enough.
Spreading the court. Here's what Dick was talking about. McCants trying to knock down that 3 and pressing a little bit. You can see him close his eyes and say, man, it's not my night. Frustration. It's not over yet, Rashad. Stay with it.
In an October 2004 interview, McCants told reporters that playing for UNC was like a 9-to-5 and compared it to being in jail. Roy Williams didn't take these comments lightly, and he banned him from the next team practice. He would later say that he finally watched the whole interview and understood what McCants was trying to say, but he still didn't like the choice of words. In recent times, Rashad has mentioned how he didn't get along with his teammates, even mentioning their different choices of music to highlight how different they were as people.
He's always on different sides of the fence. They listen to Lil Flip and Mike Jones. I listen to Jay-Z. That should tell you what type of vibe me and them was on.
In the 2005 National Championship, UNC would beat Illinois, and McCants would make some strong accusations against his coach, Roy Williams.
Right, you was a college champion, right? Were you actually happy after you won the championship?
Of course I was. I led my team.
You knew. Did your team win?
Hey, let me ask you a question there about the word led.
Yeah, I just...
Excuse me?
Yeah,
I was around. I feel like Sean May won Final Four MVP, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Huh?
Okay, so you want to go into that?
No, I'm
actually down.
You want me to go down? You want to go down there?
I'm curious.
Because I had 15 points at half, and then my coach decided that it wasn't going to be my show because it was Big Man's birthday.
Okay, cool. But
Let's investigate this really quick. In a battle of the 2 best teams in college, UNC would face Illinois for the national championship. This game took place on April 4th, which does in fact happen to be Sean May's birthday. Rashad McCants started off the game hot, going 6 for 12 in the first half of the game with 14 points, leading his team to a 40-27 lead going into halftime. It looked like their game plan was working, but suddenly, in the second half, the team started going to Sean May, which ended up working because May would go 6 for 6 in the second half with 18 points, but Illinois would close the gap, going on a 33-20 run to tie the game at 65 with 5 minutes left to go in the game. Even the announcer was wondering what happened to McCants, who only took 3 shots in the second half.
How about McCants? Where has he been? After leading the way in the first half, shutout in the second stanza. Well,
in the final minute of the game, McCants, who was the team's best scorer, was actually on the bench. Felton would hit the free throws to seal the game, and as you can see here, Felton and McCants share a big hug, rolling on the floor with each other in excitement. Sean May would end up winning the most outstanding player, finishing with 26 points after his 18-point second half, and McCants finished with 14, scoring no points in the second half. Do Rashad's claims of Roy Williams playing favorites have any merit? I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but let's take a step back and look at this from an unbiased point of view for 1 second. You're a coach, right? You have 2 players on your team. One of them you love, he might even be your favorite player, and the other one you cannot stand. Both players are of equal caliber, so you can win playing through either one of them. The player you can't stand is leading the team in scoring, and if he continues, he's gonna win the most outstanding player. And you're up by 13, so you have a little wiggle room. So if you wanted, you could technically start giving the ball to the player that you really like and still win. Honestly, which one would you prefer to win the MVP? Please let me know in the comments. June 28, 2005, once it was draft time, McCants was considered to be a top 10 pick, but every pre-draft evaluation mentioned that he was a great scorer, but he had character concerns and attitude problems, leading to him sliding to the 14th pick, where he was selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Fast forward to June 2014, Rashad McCants would drop a bombshell on the University of North Carolina.
Well, you just heard Roy Williams said that if Rashad McCants was in front of him, one of the questions he eventually would ask is why. Rashad McCants now joins us live to answer that very question. Rashad, why did you come forward with these allegations?
You know, if you want to find the truth is there in the transcripts. So any reason to come forth and tell the truth about what's really going on in college sports for student athletes, it's all, you know, just there in front of you.
In June 2014, seemingly unprovoked and out of nowhere, Rashad McCants went on Outside the Lines on ESPN and revealed that while he was at UNC, he never had to go to classes, yet still somehow remained eligible to play, even making the dean's list because he was instructed to take African American studies classes, which McCants says were basically fake classes. He even revealed his transcripts to ESPN for proof.
According to his college transcript, which Outside the Lines obtained from UNC with McCants' permission, that semester he also received straight A's and made the dean's list. Although he says by then, he never went to class.
I would wake up about 12 o'clock, get some lunch, head to practice.
How does a student athlete get an academic award while neglecting his academics? McCants says he took 4 of the so-called paper classes in the African and Afro-American Studies Department, also known as AFAM.
We went straight to the AFAM classes because those classes were a piece of cake. You didn't have to go to those classes. It wasn't an actual class. It was just write a paper at the end of the semester.
Now McCants says he and some of his teammates also participated in the academic misconduct. A look at McCants' transcript for his entire junior year helps to illuminate how the paper class system worked for UNC athletes. The semester before he made the dean's list, he received A's in his 2 AFAM classes, but failed psychology and algebra. He says this led to a meeting called by his coach, Roy Williams.
We sat down in his office and he basically said, you know, did you know you're almost academically ineligible? And I said, what do you mean? He said, you could possibly be on academic probation. When he seen my panic, he was able to console the fact that we're going to be able to fix it, but we need you to buckle down on your academics and make sure this doesn't happen again. Make sure you go to class.
Rather than buckle down, the next semester, he took those 4 AFAM classes we mentioned earlier, the ones he says he never had to attend. The 4 A's he received inflated his GPA and helped him stay eligible as the Tar Heels went on to win the national championship.
He then said that Coach Roy Williams and the whole athletic department at UNC knew all about this and they do it for all the players.
How much do you think Roy Williams knew about the paper class system?
I think he knew 100%.
Why do you say that?
Because it's hard for anybody not to know about the fact that we're taking African American study courses and we don't have to go to class. I think that's very obvious, especially when, you know, he has his coaches checking our classes and checking our schedules and checking our grades.
How much do you think the athletic department knew about the paper class system?
The athletic department knew 100%.
He then would reveal that the African American Studies classes only require students to write papers, but players didn't even have to write any papers, and they had tutors that would do the essays for the players. This was a big deal because this is literally academic fraud, and it would lead to UNC being investigated. These allegations were confusing to a lot of people because, as McCants said, he was almost academically ineligible and Roy Williams helped keep him on the court. So nobody could understand why he decided to go full-blown Jose Canseco and become a whistleblower. He would later hint that it was retribution for what Roy Williams did to him, even though he was never specific about what he did. The only thing I could think of is when he was drafted, the coach that drafted him, Dwayne Casey, said that he reached out to his guys in the NCAA and they told him not to draft McCants. Who else in the NCAA would have more insight on whether McCants should be drafted other than the people at University of North Carolina? He also said that he didn't like the fact that his school made so much money off of him and he was never compensated.
A lot of people would say, damn, looking at it on the outside, looking in, like, damn, why he throwing UNC under the bus?
Yep.
Now, you won a championship with them. You gonna give them that kudos, right?
Great times. Yeah, we can give it to him for now, yeah.
Okay, now explain the frustrations you had with players and the university as a whole.
There ain't never been no frustration. It was a realization.
A realization.
The realization was free education, no compensation. That's the NCAA motto. We're gonna give y'all free education.
Right.
We're not gonna pay you for how much money you making us. When you go to that March Madness, it's a lot of money that's being made based on how y'all play. Do you get a check for that?
No.
All right, I had a problem with that.
This was in the time before NIL deals became a thing. The compensation was supposed to be at least a free education, but if you're taking sham classes, then there's no education happening. Regardless, him making these accusations might be where he found out how tight the UNC bond is. He may have underestimated how much of a father figure Roy Williams was to his players. When he said this, 16 of his former teammates, including Ray Felton, Sean May, and Marvin Williams, all came out with a signed statement denying the allegations that McCants made against UNC. Sean May would make an additional statement saying that it was unfortunate what Rashad was doing. Even players that weren't on the team with him spoke out against him. Wayne Ellington, who played for UNC from 2006 to 2009, would tweet that McCants was out of his mind, and his teammate Danny Green would deny that there was any academic fraud going on at UNC. Even Kenny Smith from TNT, who played for UNC back in the 80s, came out and said that he was 10 times the player that McCants was and that he couldn't tie Kenny's shoes, which statistically just isn't true. After this, Rashad would be shunned by UNC. Remember earlier when I brought up comments by McCants saying Roy Williams was playing favoritism towards Sean May because of his birthday? Well, in that same interview, he would mention that his teammates were hating on him.
So I was already decreasing my scoring and passing more because the niggas on my team was haters.
This would cause Raymond Felton to finally break his silence in a 2024 interview and speak out against the things that McCants has been saying.
And so for him to say some of the things I hear him say on the podcast that they're doing and just things that he's done in the past, it just pisses me off because none of us has never turned our back on you.
Never.
You've always went your own way, and we was cool with that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But we still always had your back. But now once you started to mess with the legacy of Coach Williams and the legacy of what we've done as a team, now we got a problem with you. You know, so I never had a problem with the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I do now.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm not gonna let you sit here and say nothing about a man that I know helped all of us, you know, achieve a dream that we all wanted to do, which was get to the NBA, which was be successful at the college level. And we won a championship, bro. What are you talking about? Like, you win lottery. What are you talking about? People like, man, what do you think? I'm like, I say he's a dickhead, bro.
Yeah.
I say, I have nothing else to say. I say, because I give the dude his flowers. The dude's one of the best scorers that I've ever in my life played with. I'll never take that from him. But the shit he do off the court, just, I can't rock with it. It just kills me good. Then for him me to hear him say that we hated on him.
Yeah.
I said, what?
That was mind-boggling.
I'm like, hated? Dude, I was the point guard, so I'm gonna go and start right there. I'm gonna start right there. Like, hated? How many times I done fed you the ball, you know what I'm saying, made sure you got it because I know you was our best scorer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's saying a lot because in certain situations and at a certain point in that season, Sean was our best scorer.
Yeah.
Because could nobody in the country do nothing with him.
And Rashad, man, I know a lot of people think that
You know, me and Rashad got a lot of beef. Me and Rashad, you know, everybody in Carolina don't like Rashad. It's not about not liking him. It's about don't disrespect the body of work that we all put in. The grind, the sweat, the tears that we all put in together with you. You know, and I to the day I with him, but I'm gonna call you out when you're on some bullshit. You know, and he was on some bullshit. So I had to say what I had to say. You know, regardless, I say it to his face. Yeah, he know that. But talking about one of the best scorers I ever played with though. And I tell anybody that. When I say this dude was a bucket, this dude put that ball in the basket, bro. Yeah. This dude can score from the day he stepped on campus. He can score with pros, he can score with anybody. And I tell anybody that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be real with you though. You know,
everybody need a G-check every now and then. You know, man, it ain't personal.
It ain't never personal.
Felton did seem to be a little annoyed, but one person who seemed to have the most issue with Rashad's comments was Theo Pinson. Theo Pinson is a Carolina boy through and through. He was born and raised in Greensboro, North Carolina, and played high school basketball at Wesleyan Christian Academy in High Point, North Carolina, where he would dominate and play his way into being a McDonald's All-American in 2014. He would commit to go to UNC, where he would play all 4 years from 2014 to 2017, being part of the 2016 team that would lose the national championship to Villanova on this crazy shot.
To Jenkins for the championship. Diacono to a trailing Jenkins for the championship. He hits it at the buzzer.
And the 2017 team that would win the championship, beating Gonzaga. Playing for North Carolina for 4 years helped him build a bond with Coach Roy Williams, where he looked at him like a father figure.
I know people struggle with like saying like a father. He really was like a father figure.
Yeah.
Because he really was, like, he genuinely cared about every single one of us.
Aside from just Coach Williams, Pinson built a bond with everything UNC related, so he would not tolerate any negative talk against the Tar Heels. When Rashad McCants first made the comments about how he felt his teammates were hating on him and Coach Williams playing favorites with Sean May, Theo got on his Run Your Race podcast along with his former UNC teammate Justin Jackson and responded to what McCants had to say.
Rashad McCants put out a statement, something like, he was forced to get a ball to Big May, he had to get a ball to Ray, he had to get a ball to Dino and Marv and all these guys. Dog, you shot the second most shots on the team. The hell are you talking about, bro? And then they wanted Big May to win MVP because it was his birthday. I can tell you one thing right now. Coach Williams don't give a damn about nobody's birthday on the national championship game. He wants the dub, and that's all Big May wanted the dub.
It's like, bro, it didn't affect you getting to the league. It's not like that held you back from anything that you could have accomplished at all.
Now, to put this in perspective, McCants' story was from 2005. Theo was 9 years old when it happened. I understand and respect the passion, but he wasn't there to be able to speak with this much conviction about something that happened at UNC while he was in elementary school. Justin wasn't there either, but you could hear the difference in his tone. He approached it more from an angle of, okay, I don't know if what McCants is saying is true or not, but regardless, it doesn't matter, because he still got drafted, and nothing that happened in that game affected his draft stock. Theo, on the other hand, is speaking with certainty, as if he knows what McCants is saying isn't true. Nonetheless, after this, Theo took shots at McCants every chance he could.
I worked out with, it was a bunch of guys. Rashad McCants was there as well. Couldn't even finish the workout. How about that? I think he couldn't? No, he couldn't. I think he got sick or something. Or he might have been out of shape or something.
Yeah. Or you were just busting his ass.
Oh,
yeah, it might have been that. Sorry, I'm just saying, he good.
Nah, but
he got a big ass mouth.
Damn, what's going on? Y'all got something personal?
It's a Carolina smoke thing. He already talking shit.
Oh, okay, damn. Oh, another episode.
Yeah. What about that?
Damn. Yeah. Hey, my bad. Opening some open wounds or something. My bad.
We good. Hey, he know.
Shout out to McCants. I don't know what he talking about. I don't know what you got going on over here, but
went down.
For McCants?
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that motherfucker. Everyone throws around this family bullshit. We are literally a family. I will never forget. I have never spoken.
I would disagree with that. But
except for one motherfucker. He know who he is.
Okay.
We need to revoke him from all fucking record butts, and that's Rashad McCants. You suck. Get the fuck out of here.
My God.
Everybody else, I rock with you.
Things would come to a head in April 2025 when McCants went on the Out the Mud podcast with Tony Allen and Zach Randolph. In this interview, he would compare playing for Carolina to being on a plantation, similar to his 2004 comments calling it a jail, and insinuated that Coach Roy Williams was a slave owner.
Next year, third year, we won the championship. I'm on Sports Illustrated, all that, everything that happened. I see Uncle Wes on the phone every day.
Hyped up.
You know what I'm saying? What we got to do?
Word.
Man, you in jail, bro. You got to do this sentence, man. When you done, you get to come play with the big boys. Right now, you do what he say. He the warden.
Not the warden.
That's not a man.
They had you on point.
Hold on,
we on point.
We had him on point.
It ain't no plantation. It ain't no plantation though. The universe ain't no plantation. Are you getting paid to play?
No.
I'm Django. Man, Master ain't treat me well at all, homie. I don't know how y'all saying Master treats y'all well, cause you still gotta go shake his hand and
Theo Pinson would see this interview and tweet right at McCants, calling him a clown. McCants would respond by telling him that he never met him, to which Theo responded by saying that he never wants to meet him, calling him a clown again. McCants then took the supervillain route, saying that he forgives Theo, but they will meet. 2 days later, Theo would get on his To the Baja podcast that he started with Raymond Felton a few months prior, and he had a complete outburst in response to McCants' interview.
Something has to be said. My fellow Carolina alums are very quiet.
Yeah.
They won't say much. But I fucking will. I'm going to speak up for all my alums, all my 2005 brethren that champions.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't Carolina family beef. This is Carolina family and one whatever the he is. He's taking this to a new level of just disrespect that I can't handle. And if everybody don't know, Rashad McCants, you just a dickhead and a selfish
Damn. Yeah.
That's all that comes down to.
Yeah.
What this comes down to is you take accountability for nothing. You on guys that you went to war with and you did something, you won a championship with a group of guys, they remember every single player from 2005. They still remember your stupid ass. But you know what they say when they say, Rashad McCants, can't stand that motherfucker. Guess what? I can't either. I think you're stupid as hell. I think you're a coward.
Felton would also get in on the action, having some choice words from McCants that he would say over the Ether beat, which, for those that don't know, is a song where Nas dissed Jay-Z and one of the most impactful diss tracks of all time.
He's a clown. He's a boy. And all this you talking on Twitter with Theo, talking about seeing somebody, seeing all that, come see me.
Yeah.
Come see me. I want all of it. All the smoke. Wherever, whenever. I promise you. And you know that. I try to be cool for a long time. I never said nothing about you when you did that bull on ESPN. I never even said nothing to you. I never even said nothing about you. I canceled interviews because I weren't going to address it. But now you're attacking my brothers. Now you're attacking a legacy that we built with your dumb ass at Carolina. You talk about our coach, who did nothing but being great to us. Nigga, you win lottery. You win lottery.
You complaining.
So it's Coach Williams' fault that you didn't play that long in the league. That's his fault too, right? That's your fault. I played 14 years. Marv played more. There's a lot of us that played a lot of years of professional basketball that was on that team. But you the one that f***ed your career up. Like Theo said, take accountability for your dumb ass, for your You dead to me. Been dead to me, for real. But dead to me. I would never speak your name again because you ain't worth nothing. You ain't worth my life. You ain't worth anything, man. Straight up. But if you do want some smoke, however you want it, I'm serious too. However you want it, because I go either way. I promise you. I go either way. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, those are definitely fighting words. Maybe it's because I'm not involved, but I don't think it's that deep to where he should want to fight him. But that's their business, I guess. McCants would get on Gil's Arena and not really say much. In his opinion, they're trying to use his name to boost the views on their podcast.
I come in peace.
I don't got nothing to say because they want to be where we at. And I want to bring them here. I want to get everybody up to our level.
Let's uplift.
But if you got to take shots at me to try to do that, it's going to look weird because everybody going to be like, hey, man, y'all wasn't taking these shots before Shy was on the show.
To be honest, don't expect a serious response from him on this situation. Whenever he's asked about the situation with Felton, he's very aloof about it and gives trivial reasons as to why Ray doesn't like him.
Hey, 40% from three for my whole career.
Yeah.
So I'm lacing it.
Shoot,
they
lace
big
off
mad,
that
but they was big mad. Nobody liked to see none of that. None of my teammates.
Well, no, I was just going to say, Raymond Felton, he recently had a response to something that you said about the UNC team. Okay. I just want to know what do you have to say about what Raymond Felton said?
What did he say? What did he say?
Go ahead.
Everybody sit back.
Go to Raymond.
What did he say? I don't know. What did he say? He said some shit.
Yeah.
Raymond said some shit. What did he say?
You tell us.
No, I ain't hear shit. What did he say? What's his name again? What's his name again? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
No.
He called me a dickhead.
He called you a dickhead.
Hey man, there's a lot of niggas out there in the league that they don't really like me. You know what I'm saying? They got reason to. Cause like we all got the same work. You know what I'm saying?
Work related issue.
Work? Yeah.
It's the rap game. They don't like you because the work?
Yeah,
They do be
man.
fighting
Back in college, it got kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like the Caleb Love, RJ Davis type of situation. You know what I'm saying?
As entertaining as the drama is, and boy was this entertaining, I think that McCants and Felton need to sit down and have a conversation. But now that Ray wants to fight, I don't know. I don't see it happening anytime soon. When you hear those two talk about each other as players, they're quick to give praise, but it's going a little too far.
The coach I play with, I always vouch for Ray. Like, I with real prime Raymond Felton. No, I'm putting him against anybody. The dude I seen, nobody's with him for sure.
The dude's one of the best scorers that I've ever in my life played with. And I've played with Melo, Dirk, PG, Russ. Like, I mean, the list goes on. I can name a whole bunch of people that I play with that can put that ball in the basket. Jamal Crawford, like just bona fide scorers, bro.
Yeah.
This dude here is still in my top 1, 2, or 3. Like, I'm serious. Like that's the level of scoring that he can do. I'd never take that from him.
I know McCants says that they were never cool like that, but sorry, I'm just not buying that. I mean, look at these two. Look at them. They look like they were inseparable. Look after they won the championship. Look at the way they're hugging each other, rolling around on the floor. Look at him. He doesn't even want to let him go. Look how tight he's holding him. Nah, I'm not buying it. You can never say that you weren't cool with someone that you rolled around like this on the floor with. Never. As far as Theo goes, I think he should just chill out just a little bit. I get his frustration because Sean May is never going to come out and say anything. Marvin Williams is never going to come out and say anything. And Roy Williams is never going to come out and say anything. So he feels like someone needs to speak for them. But at the same time, he wasn't there. He was literally 9 years old. So you can't really have a say on the situation because what if everything McCants is saying is true? Then on top of that, Zach Randolph already said he's going to try to arrange a sit down between McCants and Felton. So what if they put their problems aside? What if McCants and the rest of that 05 UNC team decide to settle their differences? Where does that leave Theo, and how would he feel? Sometimes choosing sides isn't always the best option. Whatever happens, it doesn't take away from the fact that the 2005 University of North Carolina team won a championship with one of the best teams that UNC ever put together.